Hey everyone, so there's been a lot of talk about anonymous setups lately, so we're just going to play an anonymous game and see what that might be like and how it differs from a regular game. I'm going to be playing the setup is bad, anonymous version, and the anonymous deck says Day Crew. I don't know what that deck is. I really hope it isn't players, because when an anonymous deck has players in it, like other players as the roles or characters I guess you can be, it's pretty bad because the meta you have for that person might interfere with an actual read you're trying to get on an anonymous player. Um, I am mean. Giga 13, you are the reason I got silver. What do you mean, lad? I didn't tell him to. I told him how to. He's the one who executed. That's gonna be funny when you watch this later. Ha ha ha. Alright, I hope this fills soon because I'm trying to record a video, so I don't got all day here. Anyway, let's take a look at this Day Crew deck. We can find ducks. We can find ducks by clicking create game. Okay, it won't let me do that, so we'll just do this instead. Any day now. Alright, so we're gonna find an anonymous deck. So we're gonna search for, what was it called? Day Crew? Yeah. So let's take a look at this deck. Well, it's players alright, and that's annoying because it means that we are going to, unfortunately for some of us, meta read people based on how we see them. And it seems like a deck with random users, or I guess friends of Shady. So I would really like this game to start, so I don't really need to edit my video. I'm probably gonna have to edit this video. Okay, so now it looks like we're finally ready to start. So what happens at the start of an anonymous game is everyone's immediately assigned a random thing from this deck. Okay, so this is what I mean by it being annoying, because now I feel like I'm supposed to be reading these people, because I know a lot of these people, but it's just random people. Okay, so this is a setup that I strongly dislike, but the whole point of it is just to showcase an anonymous game, which is hard to do because to the eye it looks like regular users. Anyway, we are now shooting day one is not optimal. Unless all the PRs claim as PR. That's the only time it's optimal, but it usually turns into a shit show, so I usually just tell people, I know, it's not optimal. People tend to troll at the start of the setup too. So I'm Starfire 22, showcased by my avatar being beside this user. For this game, I have been assigned Starfire 22 from the Day Crew deck, anonymous deck. And we're just trying to see. So you know what the cool things about anonymous decks are is if you didn't manage to catch who was in the game at the start of the game, one thing I really like doing is actually playing dumb. Because I'm an experienced user and I know how to play very well, so if I tend to look silly and stupid and try to, for lack of a better term, look new and dumb-tell my way, not necessarily dumb-tell, but town-tell my way through being new, and by faking some town slips, I can get town red pretty easily as Mafia and get town red, or even if I'm town, I can just get town red easily, and then all the meta on Giga 13 is abandoned, which is great, as long as not everyone outs themselves in the anonymous setup. For instance, people aren't saying who they are. And it's good because if I get town red, then I can operate easily as either alignment. If I'm town, I can get reads without being challenged too often, and if I'm Mafia, then I can pretend like I'm getting reads without getting challenged too often. So it's just an overall good situation. That's why I like doing that. And this is what I kind of did when I was doing my secret alt run on Bogmire, when I won bronze on a secret alt. But you can also, kind of do things you don't normally do because people won't meta read you, and you're trying to, unless they, again, this is all contingent on if people don't out who they actually are. But it's all, the floor is yours pretty much in an anonymous deck. You can play however you want. Player meta is abandoned, which usually means that if the scum team has good players, or even if they don't, the game's going to be pretty, like the setups swing more scum sided because meta inherently helps town more than it harms them. Because people don't break meta as much as they adhere to it naturally. It looks like this game is being vegged, which is a shame, but at least I still was able to get some ideas out on anonymous setups. I haven't said a single word yet because you're just supposed to NL day one. It doesn't really matter though. I'm going to talk a little bit about the round while this game is going on. Well, we have 6 setups here, and Jan 2.0 and the setup is bad are pretty standard in the competitive Mafia discourse. Like they appear a lot. Jan 2.0 hasn't appeared in a while. Sex and Lies with not even a single play. This is a very old classic setup. And it's been dead for the better part of a decade, but it's enjoyed sometimes with experienced or veteran players in Red Hearts, and occasionally a few games of it get played in a round, but we don't really see it as much anymore. Lynch and Pop's another one of those older setups, very old setup. We haven't really seen played or made comped in a while. It has under 1,000 plays in over 9 years. I think the last time it was comped was, I want to say, well, around 116 here, but we don't know before that. So what's going on here? They shot day one, and Good Frog's here. So this town just feels like losing. That's fine. Again, this is another reason I don't like this setup. A lot of room for error, a lot of room for, just bad play. Good Frog was here. Fastest L 2020. I like that. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to play this game, I guess. Peach is the sheriff. Project Matt. it's funny when a user I know very well is in an anonymous deck, because I get to see, like, it'd be hilarious if Project Matt was actually talking like that in the game, because I can guarantee you they've never ever spoken like that in a game of Mafia. And I know Project Matt very well, so it's very funny to see like shit like this, because this is not how they would talk at all. It's not how PJ would talk at all. So it's funny, like, sometimes when you're playing a game, you forget sometimes that, like, it's not actually them, or even if you know, it's just funny to see this type of writing beside the name of a user that you know. So I guess this is what it would look like if Project Matt was a troll. So if Project watches this, then he'll know that this is pretty funny. Night 2. Okay, so what happens when I click on the pies? Nothing. You can't check people's stats in this game either in anonymous decks, which is, it's something to note. I use statistics in Mafia, and I've made a couple videos on that, but being unable to use them only adds to, I think, it being more naturally scum-sided in an anonymous deck. But, I don't know too many other people who use statistics when playing this game, so it's probably a moot point more than anything else. Lynch and Pop. This setup. I forgot to. I always forget to use new role icons when making videos. Okay, so yeah, this is just. I'll refrain from commenting on that one. Overturn the Riddler is another classic, but it's really boring. I don't like it. So, and then we have this one we're playing right now. Oh, I'm done. Excellent. Okay, so now I can just wrap this up earlier than I would have liked, or earlier than I was intending to. Let's just follow this game though. Hooked cop here. We got a cop there who retracted. Another hooked cop here. I'd just like to point out that this is day start, so it doesn't mean that Good Frog was fake AFKing. The game starts whether or not you're at your computer. There's nothing for you to do night 1, which doesn't exist in this game. Just jump straight to day 1. This game starts on day instead of night. Night 1's just there for coding purposes. So Good Frog, from what I recall, was not around until about 4.5 minutes into the game. Alright, so we have another cop there. Okay. Third cop. Another reason I don't like setups like this, I guess, is I'm more of a traditionalist. I don't generally love role swapping and stuff like that. And I feel like it just confuses people and they don't get the right reads from it. I'm more of a traditional type of player where you claim when you're supposed to, and that's it. You got your CCs. You work with the pairs you have, if it's CCs or, in blues or whatever, and then you just get your reads in that way. I don't love the role swapping, especially when it happens later in the day, because then my mindset has to switch from reading somebody as clear or an unclear and now as a clear, and like I have to, someone maybe who I was thinking was clear is not now, and I have to go back and reread that person. It's just a big waste of time. I generally dislike it. The only time I've seen it work is in circles of friends or players who play with each other a lot, who know how the other person or player plays. When it's done in like a more of a mixed table where you have like some players who know each other and others who don't, it usually ends up to town losing, especially if it's done by town. Now, if that player's trying it as Mafia, town could win, but usually you see these things. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes you see these things, people do these things as town and as Mafia, like Soda, or Transcend, or Matt, or whatever you want to call him. All Soda 17. He does that as town and Mafia. And I know some other people who do it as town and Mafia, but most people only do it as town, from my experience and from my knowledge. I will say the people who do tend to do it now are beginning to do it more as Mafia, but in my 9 years here, I've seen it more as Town than I've seen it as Mafia. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have a Sheriff or a Blacksmith Hammer. There's 2 unclears, which is, I guess a little curious. It's lie low. There's a 2 to 3 Lynch in blues, and a 1 and a 2 in cops. So hammering in blues is optimal because Hooker likely didn't CC cop. If they did, that's great Mafia play. I shouldn't call it great, but generally you're going to want to lynch in the likelier odds in this situation because you don't have anything to gain with the cops unless Hooker dies anyway. Hooker usually goes in blues in this situation. So let's see what Project Matt decides. When the game ends, everyone's identities is revealed as well as who they were. I'll just say from a moderation standpoint, moderating anonymous games was really annoying because I had to go to the post game to see who was who and then read what happened, and it's just a bit of a mess. And when you include a disguiser in it, it's just a bit crazy. So it looks like should I give reads? I don't know. I haven't really read the game hard. I'm gonna say Wrath is. It's hard to say. Anonymous is hard to get reads because you don't have player meta on people, so it could be someone who's good with this type of play or someone who's just trying to retown. I personally feel like Wrath's Town, Wild Beast Town, and I think Steve is the scummiest in the 3 blues. Now Wrath and Wild Bee are both CCs, so one of my reads is wrong right away. So that's good to know. In those 2, I'm not sure. I don't think Steve's the one town in there. I'm going to go ahead and say Good Frog is... That's hard. I don't even know. I feel like stuff like this is just... It's hard to read. Right now I'm having trouble because I'm subconsciously reading these people as who they are, which is just... It's just you tend to do it in Mafia. You look for clues, right? So... Again, my reads are already being a little screwed up because of player meta I have on people who aren't even in this game, but who have this role from this anonymous deck. So it's really annoying for me to play anonymous, and I usually avoid it for that reason, especially if I avoid these types of decks. I like the color decks or like decks of where there are people who, like the roles, the characters, these people are like not users because then that meta isn't really an issue. But even things like colors, we can have subconscious, biases towards and against. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so there was an incorrect hammer on Good Frog. Should have hammered in blues for the 2-3 odds, not the cops for the 1-2 odds. Also, Hooker is usually not in cops. GG. Okay, anyway, that was fun. Kind of. Making this video was really the most fun part about it. And okay, so I'm just going to take a moment to plug my Epic Mafia team competition. So the last 5 or 6 rounds we had my competition that I hosted it was called the Old versus the New, and we had Team Veteran versus Team Modern. So there were 25 users on Team Veteran, 25 users on Team Modern. Team Veteran users had to have created their account before 2014, and Team Modern users were 2015 and onwards. So Team Veteran, I guess, would be 2014 and earlier, rather. So now what would happen was they would play on a team account, and every day a different user would have 5 hearts. So a different user from the team would have 5 hearts, and then they would take turns. Like each day a new person from the team would play, and whoever got the most points in the round won that round, and it was best of 7. So first to 4 round wins won the tournament. I'm doing something similar here now, and except this time there's going to be captains and a draft, and we might have more than 2 teams. So if you're interested in this, I don't want to take too much time more in the video. It's been long already, but just sign up by posting in this thread. Sign-ups close at the end of Wednesday, so in approximately a day and 4 or 5 hours ish. 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, February the 5th, Eastern Standard Time. As always, thank you for watching, and I will be hoping to post more content on my YouTube channel when I have time and make more threads. I have an Ask Me Anything question thread as well. Hasn't been posted on in a while, clearly, but yeah, my Mafia AMA is here, and as usual, you can check out any of my other videos on my YouTube channel by clicking on the thread in my profile. And I'm going to add this one to these videos as well as soon as I finish. Okay, that's all. Peace.